I'm your host, Andrea Bazemore, and welcome to another episode of The Black Apple, where we talk about education and social justice in the classroom. As a recent TFA alumni, I've had successes and failures when it comes to the program. TFA Institute is just around the corner, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't impart some wisdom to the new 2017 core. This journey you're about to take on will be tiring, confusing, irritating, and it will leave you to question everything. Some might coax you into saying this is a joyous time, a rewarding time, and fulfilling. You're doing great work. But I've known few people who have this experience, this fulfillment. Welcome to the journey that you are about to embark on. Let's be clear. Institute is a weed-out experience. It is meant to test you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Probably after searching the internet, pursuing for some kind of advice on this mysterious institute, you've come up short. Few people will be honest and tell you what really happens at Institute. At Institute, you'll be met with smiling faces, fancy dinners, free shirts, and swag bags. It'll kind of be similar to freshman orientation. So think of it as like a college 2.0. You'll have a dorm, a random roommate, and it'll all feel like summer camp for summer camp counselors vying to be the best summer camp counselor. Tip number 1. Meet everyone you can or stay in solitude the first night. The first night you get to Institute is one of the first and only nights you have a choice. Do what's best for you. Get to know people before the structure of Institute truly begins, or get those last moments of solace before the choice is not yours and you're mandated to the program. When training starts before your actual summer school experience begins, TFA will try to pump you up. Videos, speakers, and kid acts will be served to boost your spirits. However, it is nothing you have not seen before on YouTube or Facebook videos. Don't get sucked in. Tip number 2. No video you will see will be an accurate depiction of your summer school experience. Throughout your time, you'll see the same teaching videos trying to peer pressure you into conforming to a standard way of teaching. This will be true your entire educational career. Take note of what you like and leave the rest. After educational video montages, a few tips on how to teach, you'll be given a collaborative partner, kicked off the windowsill, and led to fly, whether your wings are ready or not. This is what you signed up for. When your first summer school day has concluded, people will finally tell you the truth. This work is hard. You'll see breakdowns, and you'll see people's true character. You will see privilege, racism, and classism from people vowing to buck the system. And you'll constantly be wondering what to do. Always remember, Institute is a weed-out experience. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Before you pack anything or do any pre-work, you need to understand this. You need to understand who you are as an individual. What Institute won't tell you is that it is impossible to teach a group of kids when you have failed to understand the definition of yourself. The second thing I would say that is vital to your success in Institute is to let go of comparisons and judgment. Now, that's overall the biggest lesson I've learned from my Institute experience. You are bound to meet people who are academically smarter, wealthier. You will also meet people who are lucky to get their belt on in the morning. But guess what? Both kinds of people will graduate Institute. And both groups of people may get the same amount of praise or even more than you. So what? You have to understand you. What is right for you will not work for everyone else. People quit TFA and have success, and people graduate to alumni status and do nothing. Focus on your goals, your worth, and who you want to be. My last big point. TFA has an overarching view of what good teaching is. As you grow into the organization, you may realize that the formula doesn't really work for you. And that's okay. The people training you are reading a script they may or not even believe in. The people hired as experts may have had failing classrooms during their time in the class. And most importantly, they haven't been teaching much longer than you have, a majority of them. I realized in my first year that the TFA way of running my classroom was not working for me. And I was losing a part of myself because I didn't truly understand who I was as a person and as a teacher. And so I failed. But that's okay. I scrapped the plan, looked at other resources, and found a new way and a new direction of teaching. My way of teaching is not wrong, and neither is TFA's. But you have to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, and leave the stuff that doesn't. TFA is not gospel. It is just a resource. Institute is made to make you feel conformity as an organization, who is still, to be honest, searching to find their own identity. I've seen great teachers get shoved out of Institute because Institute wasn't made to validate good teachers. It's meant to test out educational theories and practices on new teachers in hopes of what they projected to happen does happen. Ultimately, to be honest, you're just a pawn in the game. But you have to understand the game in order to get what you want. And if Institute and being a TFA alumni is what you want, then that's okay, because that's what I wanted. Even though my whole time with TFA wasn't marvelous, the experience that I got from Institute and Teach for America was one of my goals. And it helped me in my goal to become a teacher, to work with Black and brown children. It helped me get into a master's program. And I'm better off for it. I would honestly do the experience again. But it was right for me. So before I end this podcast, I'm going to give you 10 really quick tips on surviving Institute. Tip number 1. Buy a summer teaching wardrobe if you have the funds to, because it gets hot. Wherever you're teaching in the summer, you're outside a lot, you're walking, you're doing a bunch of activities, and you have to be business casual 90% of the time. Do yourself a favor, go to Goodwill, go to a department store, and buy yourself some breathable fabric. It will save you. Number 2, get a high-quality water bottle and snacks. Again, you're going to be walking around, going from place to place, not having a whole lot of time to transition. It'll save you. You'll be able to stay hydrated and focused. Tip number 3, do not spend money on your summer school classroom. I can't stress this enough. Your summer school classroom is temporary, and no seasoned teacher spends money on a summer school classroom. Right after your summer school experience, remember, you're going into your real school. You're going to be burnt out from your summer school classroom and not have the funds or energy to decorate your real classroom. So stay focused on what's really important. Tip number 4, and I know this is hard, don't cry in front of your class. That is the easiest way to show weakness and to lose your students. Which leads me to tip number 5. Talk to your master teacher. My master teacher was so helpful to me, had detailed notes, and probably the best person for me to talk to get real life experience from someone who is still in the classroom. Tip number 6. Bond with your institute core. Now, whether you're at a national institute or a regional one, you'll have the opportunity to network, connect with, and build relationships with your institute cohort. This cohort is going to be there for you your entire 2 years. And the best bonding happens at Institute. You won't get another chance. Go out of your comfort zone, connect, find those group of people who you really click with, and stick together. Tip number 7, and this is just my personal preference, live with a roommate your first year. Finding housing, getting to know what subject matter you're going to teach is a stressful time during Institute. Not only are you having to worry about 10 million other things, you have no clue where you're going to live, where your school is, etc. Having someone to be there for you during those stressful times is pretty helpful. And I loved living with a roommate my first year, and I would recommend it. Number 8. Sometimes, in order to maintain sanity, you have to tune out. You're going to be going to session after session after session, People are going to tell you 10 million things to do in one day, and the next day tell you 10 million more things to do. Sometimes it's just best to tune some of it out. It can be extremely overwhelming. During work time, I would bring headphones so that I could concentrate on music and other things instead of listening to the chatter of the room, because everyone is anxious. It's not bad to zone out. It's bad to check out of the entire experience, because you'll be missing some vital key information. But if you need to tune out just so that you can keep calm and that you can prevent a freak out, do it. Tip number 9, work in the TFA workroom. At Institute, TFA will provide you with printers, computers, that you can work on your materials for your summer school classroom. Now, I had some great conversations in that TFA workroom. Don't bring a printer to Institute because those resources will be provided for you. But go into the TFA workroom and connect with other people that are in your institute. And tip number 10, don't take Institute so seriously. Institute is 6 weeks of your life. It is not your entire life. It is stressful, yes, but don't let the stress consume you. Your Institute experience is temporary. Your classroom experience, however, can be permanent. Focus on the future first. Get through Institute, succeed, graduate, and then move on. For more tips on surviving Institute, head over to theblackapple.org. Thank you for listening, and remember, education is power, but knowledge is sweet.